Hey, we're live. Sound check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. Let me know if you can hear us.
Yeah. A thumbs up would be great. A comment would be good as well. All of that will suffice.
Go to hell will be fine too. So we'll take any of that.
The wind is what it is. So hopefully won't be too terrible.
We should probably invest.
Hey, we got 3 people. There we go.
We should probably invest in some mics.
You would think that of all the things we would have, maybe that would be part of them,
Nah.
considering how often we need them. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, you can hear us fine. Ecological Lighting says you can hear us fine. Shout out. Yeah. Oh, no, we lost a couple people. That's okay. We'll just start. Now we're down to 1 person. That's good. We'll just listen to ourselves talk for a little bit.
It said lost you.
Yeah, I think it was because I flipped over to Twitter real quick. Yo, you are not loading. Still? There we go. Trey Downs. Appreciate you, Trey. Thanks for letting us know, brother.
You were holding still, so the people were like, oh, it's like every 5 seconds. You hold real still and be like, oh, wait. Somebody's whacking it on the side there, you know.
Cool. Awesome. Alvin, Ecological Line again. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Let's see. Ooh, Dwight McLaughlin just said, I can't wait to play on this field on his Instagram with a pic. Akinola Ogunbidi certainly couldn't wait to get it out of the way, as he definitely went ahead and announced his commitment here just after 6 o'clock. So big news for the Bulldogs. Rivals 250 guy out of the state of Texas, an offensive guard.
Number 5 offensive guard in the nation.
Not often that you pull a guy out of the state of Texas like that, especially a guy who a lot of people thought Oklahoma was the favorite there. And what we told people a couple weeks back was that watch that visit to Oklahoma. If he made it through that visit, there was reason for Georgia to feel good.
Without committing.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah, right.
He made
right.
it through the visit. He didn't die.
But, yeah, if he made it through the visit without committing, a lot of people thought, and I put this morning, I said, he made it through that visit without committing. We weren't necessarily expecting him to return for G-Day, but he shows up last night. It's a surprise. I said that puts Georgia in the driver's seat.
Well, it wasn't a surprise to you. It was a surprise to the rest of us. You predicted that he would visit Georgia. You predicted he was going to commit to Georgia. The rest of us, after he gave that
that
story
to Patrick.
Story to Patrick. Well, Georgia from Sugarland, that's a really long way away. So we're like, I'm thinking. So I doubted you. I apologize.
When will you learn?
I don't know.
But a huge day, obviously, on the recruiting trail. Obviously, Alvin Todd says, can't remember a G-Day that cold. We made it through the 3rd quarter. Roddy, you've been to a lot of them.
I've never been to one like this. I've been to 20 some of these things, and I've never had one that's cold. I've been to some that are rainy.
Yeah, sure.
But, yeah, we're only going to talk for like 6 minutes because I'm freezing my hoochah off. It's cold out here. Now, incredible number of fans. They said they had 52,633.
That might be inflating it a little bit.
There's no way. That's how many people would like to have been here.
Sure. Oh, yeah. And I think if you would have had good weather, I think that it would have been a totally different story. We said, even before the thing started, we probably wouldn't have come unless we were mandated to by our job. So, it was a rough day. They had everything working against them in that regard. But
garbage weather,
Yeah.
Bad timing.
Yeah, it's Easter weekend. It's Easter weekend. Yeah, people are going out of town. That hamstrings a lot of recruits too. Normally, I talked to Brock Vandegrift a couple weeks back. He said, "I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to make it because it's Easter weekend. Normally, we go see the grandparents who travel for that. So, big for them to get all these guys into town. They did get a number of guys.
That's insane. If you haven't seen the photo gallery at UGASports.com, check it out. How many guys did you put in there?
Oh God, I've got a couple more to add. I think we're probably north right now of 25 at least, and I think we've got 5 stars. Michael Sherman's in there. Keely Ringo's in there. Kendall Milton's in there. So and I got some Paris Johnson, some Eric Gilbert. Yeah, it was a loaded field. Beyond just this 2020 class, you had some good stars. That 2021 class, that they're always recruiting. Big deal for Georgia on the recruiting trail today. I thought that was the biggest thing. Paul Van Lanningham him. What are you hearing on Milton's multi-day visit? I think that
He's good.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it bodes well for Georgia. Certainly, I think that he's a kid who has a lot of interest in Georgia. Obviously, it's a tough trip to make from Clovis, California, all the way out to Athens, but it's one he's been wanting to make. He's been clear that Georgia is really high on his list, and to get him in town for several days, he looked to me like he was having a blast hanging out with Paris Johnson and Akinola prior to the game.
And that's what you need. You need to be able to come out here and spend 2-3 days. Think about it. If he had arrived for a official visit in the fall, he gets in like Saturday morning for a 1 o'clock game or 4 o'clock game, and then he's leaving Sunday night because he's got to make practice, get back for classes. Coming out here for the entire time, spending multiple nights in Athens, multiple hours with other recruits, hanging out with the Zamir Whites, the Tyson Campbells, guys like that. Just seeing yourself living in this town. Go to 3 or 4 different restaurants. What's it like there? In other words, Athens becomes much more real for you than, oh yeah, I was there for a couple hours. You zipping through.
No, I think
it doesn't stick.
No,
but you got to get him here.
Right. Well, because how often do you hear guys talk about when it comes to recruiting? It's all kind of the same. Well, the facilities are the same. Everybody's got great football. Everybody's got great coaches. Everybody can use kind of immerse yourself in the culture. That's a little bit different, and that's one of the reasons I really like these spring official visits. I think it's a good thing.
The kid that committed earlier this week,
Jalen Kimber, yes.
He actually said, I need to take that visit to Georgia. Everyone tells me when I go to Georgia, it'll be unlike anything I've done before. And he really could not imagine himself in Athens until he visited. Then all of a sudden, he's like, I can see myself playing there, and he commits.
2 kids out of Texas this week. Pretty strong.
That's nuts.
Let's get to the game a little bit. Let's talk the game.
Trey Downs talking about that defense.
I watched almost none of it, I will admit. I was in there working on the recruiting gallery. I had 1,500 pictures to go through. But Roddy, I know, was out here on the sidelines, and I did watch a couple plays on TV. I'll tell you, the ones that I caught, it looked like to me Dwan Mathis was throwing the ball a lot better than what I've seen from him all spring.
He did have one interception at a bad throw, but that has been what we've seen. We've seen great throw, terrible throw. Great throw. What the hell was he doing? That has been the Dwan Mathis MO all spring. I put in our notes, if you go to UGASports.com, we had some insider notes, and I said, look, you folks are going to be impressed with this kid's speed. He can take off. He can run. Actually has one of the highest, actually has one of the fastest GPS times on the team. When he takes off running, he can fly. And he also has a strong arm. And we saw that. He actually, let's see how many passes did he complete. 15 passes for 15 out of 28, 113 yards, 20-yard pass. And actually ran 9 times, 29 yards. So
yeah, not bad. I mean, overall. And the last play of the game, I mean, he chucked one down. I thought he kind of escaped the pocket, got out, launched it up. I mean, that was a good throw. The
kid has a huge arm.
Yeah.
So now, I'm not sure where it's going.
It's about control for him. Yeah, obviously. You're not going to have to worry about whether or not it's going to get there. You're just going to have to worry about where it's going to be when it gets there.
So he does. Very impressed with Dwan Mathis. Very impressed with Stetson Bennett. Stetson showed people why Georgia gave him a scholarship. I know in everyone's mind, not everyone's, but a lot of people's minds, he's a walk-on quarterback. Well, he's not. He had a scholarship offer when he left Georgia. Yep. They wanted him to stay. They offered him a scholarship. He said no and left anyway. Then when he came back, he is on scholarship. He is your backup quarterback. He's your number 2 guy. We were having this discussion on the board the other day. A lot of people say, well, it's Jake Fromm's team. But, yeah, it was also Jacob Eason's team. Then 8 plays into the 2017 season, Jacob Eason was out. Yeah. So if you're nervous about this team, be nervous about the quarterback spots. You have a fantastic quarterback in Jake Fromm, and you have 2 untested guys behind him.
I agree. Now I will say though, I think that Stetson's a guy who can carry it. If need be, he's a guy who. Would you want to go through the whole season with him at quarterback? I think that would drastically change the expectations of the team, certainly. But I think he can win you some games, no doubt about it. I think that he can put it into tight windows. He's a guy who's very familiar with this offense. I think it benefits him that James Coley has taken over the offense, and so he's got kind of a fresh start there to kind of put him on a little bit more level playing ground. I think so. Not ideal, obviously, for him to take it over, but you have to feel confident about a guy who's been in the system.
Yeah, you got to feel a lot better about the fact that you have 2 guys who are learning it behind Jake Fromm, and they're going to be recruiting quarterbacks in this class very heavily.
Carson Beck was here today.
That's what I'm saying. So you got some. This was, of all the positions on the team, it was imperative that you got those guys snaps today.
Yeah.
We had a comment that Sign. Lewis Sign.
Looked like a hitter.
Looked like a hitter. Yeah, 8 tackles today, 6 solo.
Kirby said in the post-game press conference, he said, we have seen some wow moments out of that kid this spring. He said he has delivered some. Well, he's actually out of Texas as well.
I'm just wondering.
Isn't that amazing? He also, well, he's from Texas via Maryland. Like he was, but hey, they're doing well in Texas. Ain't no doubt about that. But yeah, I mean, a huge day for him. I think that had to be encouraging for people to see that. What did you think about?
You know who else had a big day? Richard LeCow.
True.
Oh, he can't tackle. He was one of the best tacklers on the team last year. He did have some huge misses in big moments, but he is an improved tackler. Actually led the red team in tackles. He had 8 as well.
There you go.
Sorry, you about to ask?
No. I was going to say, what did you see out of the running back room? I know that's one that people, you've had DeAndre Swift banged up a little bit. Obviously, Zamir White didn't get a chance to go. James Cook was a guy people were looking to. What would he do? What did you see out of those guys?
I saw guys that could take it to the house just about any time. I mean, that's not to say that they will, but you know what DeAndre Swift does. He has that 6th gear that he sets it into when he gets in the open field, and James Cook has beefed up a little bit. He was going a little bit more between the tackles. He's not trying to dance around people as much. He wants to get in the open field and take off, but he was actually dropping the shoulder and grunting out some yards there. But Brian Herrion, remember when he was a freshman and was playing a lot?
Yeah.
And we got Nick Chubb and Sony Michel, and then Brian Herrion. Then sophomore year kind of disappeared.
He flashed the hands again today.
Yeah, he's got it. I mean, the perfect example, when Anthony Dasher says, hey, the photos we need for UGASports.com for all the stories, the first thing he asked me for is, I need a Brian Herrion picture.
Yeah.
And guess what? I had a ton of them because Brian Herrion was catching passes, making plays. Again, it's tough to be without Nick Chubb, Sony Michel, guys like that.
It's tough to be without Zamir White.
Yeah. But, you got to like the fact that you got your DeAndre Swift is a beast.
And I'll tell you this, coming into the fall, I think you should be encouraged that Samir is going to come in super fresh. They're not going to do anything they've taken their time plenty with him. You got Kenny McIntosh coming in as well, so that's going to supplement that room as well. So, I think that there's reasons to be I think that there are reasons to be encouraged. Brad Watson looks like Notori was adjusting out there.
Now, and he was. We saw him out there. No, Dash does not live at Foley Field permanently. But shout out to Anthony Dash, for all his baseball coverage. Notori Johnson looks like a defensive lineman now. He did not look that. He looked out of place last year. In this game, we're reading a lot into a GA game, but he looked a lot more comfortable out there today. And Justin Young, who some people forgot was on the team completely. Justin was playing well. So is Michael Barnett, another guy people wrote off. I tell you, I don't want to say recycled is the wrong word, but some of the guys, Georgia does not give up on these guys.
That's what I was. Yeah, that's the thing is they've kept these guys around. It's not a situation where they've been through the process.
Yeah.
They're not running them off. I mean, a guy like Justin
and we've seen
Young,
guys like that in the past. We know that this guy is what did Coach John call him? ERW.
Yeah, eat, right, and walk.
Yeah. So you get some of those guys that they've been on the team 3-4 years. You know they're never going to play. I don't know that you can point to anybody on this team that Kirby can't throw out there. You have to keep developing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And those guys, and you were very thin on the defensive line this spring with all the guys that are injured. Julian Rochester's not out there. David Marshall's not out there. Other guys are banged up. And all of a sudden, it's Justin Young. Oh, he played, one game last year?
Yeah.
Now he's running with the ones. Notori flips over. Notori looked good, Actually had a pretty good play there. Got into the backfield one time. I'm like, going up against that offensive line, iron sharpens iron.
And I think that that's a much better spot for him to be able to make an impact. I think that he was so far behind the 8 ball when it came to the guys they recruited ahead of him, the guys that were, it was going to be tough for anybody to battle up out of the second and third team on that offensive line. So I think that he's got a much better chance of making an impact on them.
Absolutely. So much, very much so.
How about your boy Eric Stokes?
East side. East side. Eric Stokes, right off the bat, big play, interception, pick 6.
Has really come into it. You have got to give that kid all the credit in the world. And we say this all the time. I've said this plenty. I admit it. when we saw the open practice a couple years back, I was like, they are going to run that kid out. They are going to get rid of him because he was getting absolutely demolished. I mean,
Kirby was chewing his ass.
DeAndre Swift was trucking him. I mean, he just couldn't cover anything. And he has come so far. They have turned him into a really, really good quarterback, it looks like right now.
But you think about this. You got a 10-4 guy in him. You got a 10-4, sub 10-4 guy in Tyson. Tyson Campbell looked good today. You're going to be without DeAndre Baker, your number one, first round cornerback. You've got two guys that can replace him pretty well. And then, DJ Daniel I thought looked good.
Yeah, and he's a quick guy too, don't you?
Tariq Stevenson looked really good.
Also fast.
He was fly. That secondary is nuts.
I agree.
This is a secondary that can make up for mistakes.
For your money, is that you think that's the deepest position on the field?
Outside linebacker.
No, that's tough. I can see that. Yeah, I can see that too. But there's just so many guys fighting it out in the secondary.
Yeah, it is a lot of bodies back there. I mean, when you look at the fact that you have William Poole, Mark Webb, and Devon Wilson beating the hell out of each other to be that star guy.
I was going to ask, how did the star position kind of play out today?
Was the guy. Mark Webb was everywhere today. I think if anybody put a claim on that position, it was Webb. He was rushing, covering.
He's in fantastic
Every time
shape.
I looked up, I saw 23.
I can't believe how big he is right now either. I mean, and I saw him the other day.
And for somebody who said he should not switch from wide receiver, well, I was wrong again.
I noticed in practice the other day too, his back pedal is so smooth. He's really, really worked on that. And credit to the guy. I mean, it's not a position. A lot of people talk about, these guys never leave the field in high school. I don't know that was the case for Mark. I think that he focused most of his efforts on being a wide receiver. He wanted to be a wide receiver, was expecting to be a wide receiver, and then he gets here. That's a lot to throw at a guy to learn a new position, but he's taken to it well, and you got to give him some credit.
Another guy that's been developed.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying.
No doubt.
I'm not trying to be best friends with the coaches. I'm just saying that we are seeing examples of them taking guys, putting them in a different position, teaching them how to play it. It is possible in college football to recruit so well. You bring in guys with natural talent. You don't have to coach them up that much because they're really, really good and win football games. You won't win championships, but you win football games.
Yeah.
You can be a multi-million-dollar coach, winning games in some other conferences. But if you want to win championships, you got to have depth.
Let me ask you this: what we talked about a lot of good things. What did you see that concerned you today?
The defensive line, there just wasn't not enough bodies out there. They played well, don't get me wrong, but it's like I just would like to see, Tyler Clark playing well. He was doing great. Malik Herring was in on a lot of plays. The outside linebackers were getting back there, but that is what was Jordan Davis? Why was he not out there with your ones? Where's the run stopper there? So
well, and Kirby said post game, he said the three areas where we're the thinnest are defensive line, tight end, and then wide receiver. He said, we're worried not only about the wide receiver position from what they do for our offense. He said, but we lost a ton of experience on our special teams guys when we lost that group of guys. So he said, they're looking for some consistency there. Brian Adams says Matt Landers was inconsistent today.
I was about to say the other thing for me was the number of drops. And here's the thing, they're not always drops. Some of the passes weren't there, but let's look at these numbers real quick.
Thank God the sun came out finally when it was the end.
Quarterbacks were all accurate.
Sure.
But Jake Fromm's 14 of 29. Juan Mathis is 15 of 28. Stetson Bennett is 12 of 23. You're about 50%.
Across the board.
Across the board.
Yep.
Not a lot of yards. Here's the thing. If you're going to throw all those short passes, you better catch all those damn short passes. I mean, these are easy throws.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, they did uncork a few downfield, but those weren't anywhere close to being caught. I think Holloman had one that he should have been able to bring in. Matt Landers had a couple that he should have brought in. A couple other guys had dropped. So that concerns me. But again, where was the quarterbacks got pressure. There were a number of sacks.
Yeah.
But it was all from the edge. Where's breaking? And then a few corner blitzes.
I think Dwan got sacked 5 times, if I'm not mistaken.
So, so people say, wow, look at all the sacks. But yeah, all that was coming from the edges.
We had a question on here that said, how would you assess the play of the early enrollees? I thought, obviously, Sign made his impact felt today. Anybody else that caught your eye?
Yeah, Nolan Smith. Holy crap. Dang. Perfect example. I mean, you're looking out there. This is a guy who 3 months ago is in high school. He's going up against Andrew Thomas, a first-round draft pick, and he's giving that punch, trying to move Andrew, who's not going to move, but he's going, and then he realizes the play is going away from him, so he washes down the line, trying to keep up with the play, and goes head on straight into Solomon Kinley. He rocked Solomon back a little bit.
Yeah.
Solomon got, now granted, it took him out of the play.
Sure.
Because Solomon just enveloped him. But he was not scared to take on Andrew Thomas, then Solomon Kinley, one after the other. And then there's another play where I saw him go 1, 2, 3, and then he wound up with, like Trey Hill was like double teaming him. So the kid, he's fast, he's strong. I thought, I saw Jermaine Johnson out there a lot. I didn't see a whole lot of plays from him, but I did see a lot from Nolan. Nakobe Dean played well. Saw him in coverage a number of times. Made some tackles. So
Dean looks bigger even since signing day. I would agree with that. I think that he has put on some weight and muscle since he's gotten here.
But Nakobe impressed me. And you got to remember, those guys were running with the ones.
Yeah.
So it's not like they were teeing off on the second string offense. They were out there with the number one defense. So they were going up against Georgia's best offense. So.
Pete Ellis says, who might be next to commit to the Dogs? Pete, you're fiending for it, man. You got to chill out. It's Easter weekend. Go eat some ham, brother. No, I don't. Honestly, I do think that there is a possibility, I think there's a possibility we might see one more this weekend. I'm not guaranteeing that.
He's predicting that there's one more commit.
I put on the
We're
board.
on commit
It
watch.
would not surprise me to see someone make a silent commit this weekend. I think that you could lock up one of these guys that was on campus with a silent commit. I don't know if it'll go public or not. I've got a good feeling on one of them though, for sure. So I think that it'll benefit.
Yeah,
well.
it's Mikael Sherman.
Maybe
He's committing in 17 minutes.
don't say that. All right, game ball.
Game ball. I'd have to go Nolan Smith just for what he was doing. Ben Cleveland gets one.
Okay.
You didn't see anybody getting past Ben today. At least I didn't see anybody get past him. So those will be two right off the bat. Jake Camarda had a punt that went through the roof.
Yeah.
So,
He was booming them.
Yeah, more consistent. I'd give him one of those. Mark Webb, no question there. Give Mark one. Stetson Bennett. There were a couple times that he was in trouble, scrambled, got out of there. James Cook. Give one to James. James, again, he's a lot bigger.
Is there anybody you're not going to give?
Yeah, I got to put him. That's what's 5 or. You didn't watch a game. You can't give any. I got to do my job and yours.
I got two.
How you didn't watch?
I'm giving one to the people who were insane enough to sit out in this shit.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
Yes.
It was absolutely unbelievable.
think about
If you did that, you may want to go consult a therapist or something because you have a problem. But shout out to you if you did it, because it was crazy out here. Yeah. Number two, I would give one to Marshall Malco for the work that he did. Man, he was all around the field. I was watching him very closely, as you might imagine. Get over to UGASports, by the way. I dropped a little nugget on there about this group that they kind of pulled in at the end. There was as they were taking everybody back up the stairs, there was a kind of a group that sort of organically formed, and they kind of had a second to speak with Kirby. Pretty good players in there.
I want to mention something about Nakobe Dean. He was trying to get people into position.
Yeah.
At one point, he's out there moving guys around. That kind of caught my attention. This is a guy who should be told where to go.
Yeah. Sure.
But what does your middle linebacker do? He runs the defense.
Hey, that's what that 4+ GPA will get you, brother.
That was impressive to see him moving guys around.
Brian Adams said shout out to he wants to give one to Nick Chubb and Sony Michelle for coming back and helping with recruiting. You better believe Kendall Milton had a chance to talk to those guys today. I guarantee you Dell McGee got a chance to arrange that.
So you got a first-round guy, former 5-star, in Sony Michelle. You got the second leading rusher in the history of the SEC.
And a high round second pick.
Yeah.
High second round pick.
Yeah, it was like 34, 35. Mm-hmm. So, just outside it. And
their rookie seasons were pretty good. One of them was in the Super Bowl.
They might work out.
Yeah.
We might be right. But yeah, those guys coming back. trying to think of anybody else that gets one. Actually, give one more to Trey Hill.
Okay.
Right there at center. Granted, he's not going up against Jordan Davis, but Tyler Clark's going to give him all he can stand, when Tyler moves in and stuff like that. And, so that deep offensive front, I mean, that's some serious beef.
Absolutely.
So
I thought I'd get one for the hockey pick. But,
I patted you on the back when we started the whole
I want
show.
another one. Anyway, no, I think that, I think that all worthy choices. Glad to have spring practice wrapped up. A good one to have in the books, for sure. Camarda has some range, says Anthony Spano. Kicking game looks to be in good hands. I think you got two really good options there, absolutely. And I'll tell you what, before the game, too, I saw Brooks Buse out there booming them. I mean, he was nailing them. I'll tell you this, he must not be able to get it where he wants it every time because he's got the leg, there's no doubt. But anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in for UGA Sports Live. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube page while you're here. Get over to UGAsports.com. We've got a ton of stuff up. We're going to have all the player interviews. They're also here on our YouTube page if you want to check them out while you're wrapping up here. And
if you subscribe, you get a free puppy.
Roddy has just a house full of puppies
but
right now.
Quantities are limited.
But make sure you guys get over and check it all out. Like I said, the recruiting gallery is free. Get over there. Happy Easter to everybody for sure. Stay tuned in with us. We'll be watching, even though it's Easter, for any more commitments or any action like that. We'll be sure to bring anything we can. And make sure to subscribe to UGA Sports. Why would you not? 27 cents a day.
Yeah, and also, like I said, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are going to start having a call-in show that you'll need to check out. So you need to subscribe to this, which will also give away free puppies in limited quantity of 0.
All right. Thank you guys so much. Hey, does it come with a discount to Aaron Overhead Doors? No, but shout out to Aaron Overhead Doors for always sponsoring us and always helping us out. Make sure to tune in on Tuesday, by the way, with Coach Don. Can't wait to see what Don